Welcome to What the Phobia. I am your host, the creepy journalist.
Hey guys, welcome back to day 6 of 31 Days of Phobia. Let's talk. This is going to be a long one. Let's talk phasmaphobia. Phasmaphobia is the fear of ghosts. Right? And that's the long part of this episode that I want to talk about as well. That is ghosts. First off, I can understand why phasmaphobia is a thing. Is a phobia. Because for the most part, humans don't seem to cope well with things that they don't understand. Just imagine how the first caveman felt when that guy made fire. Holy shit. I can only imagine how quickly he shot himself. But ghosts. They've been around since the beginning of time. Well, I should say the beginning of humans recording time. You hear about them in the Bible. You see them in hieroglyphics. So they're everywhere. They're in religions, in huge civilizations, in small tribes. You hear about ghosts in different forms, spirits, ghosts. People say that they're illusions. People say that they're interdimensional. I've heard people say that their energy may be trapped somewhere. And there's different forms of ghosts too. There's intelligent ghosts, and those are souls too. Lost souls. That's what the soul looks like. Guess the other one. But that they're intelligent ghosts are the ones that are, well, like the phrase says, intelligent, because they do things intentionally. You're walking around somewhere, and they go ahead and they tap you. You turn around, and they're there. It's because they want you to see them. You know, as opposed to intelligent ghosts, there are those that are kind of stuck like in a time loop. And those are, I forgot what they're called. I completely forgot what they're called. How did I do that? My goodness. I'm having a brain fart. Looping. Damn, I can't think of the word. It'll come to me later. But yeah, those ghosts that are basically stuck in the time loop. Maybe those are ghosts that don't realize that they're dead, or that they've passed on. But they do things not to affect their environment. They just do things like they normally would every day. Right? Like there's been places, like bars, theaters, places that these people used to work at. And, for example, you'll see a camera guy, right? Like in an old theater. He used to work the cameras. You'll see the cameras move. Maybe the lights turn on. Maybe you hear footsteps only in certain areas where they were mostly active in. Residual. There we go. That was the word. Residual ghosts, you know? And that's just like whatever most active thing they used to do all the time. So, I mean, if you go ghost hunting, maybe you'll see some residual ghosties doing their thing. I mean, they're unaware entirely of your presence. I believe in ghosts 100%. I won't claim to know what they are, but I have a theory, and my theory basically includes them being energy. For example, you ever been somewhere and the atmosphere just feels heavy? Like there's nothing unholy about it or negative about it, but it just feels heavy, like it's even hard to breathe. Like that's a place that I feel that there's a presence of a ghost. There's been people that they claim to have seen ghosts and or they've been around ghosts, and whenever they are, the room that they're in gets colder. It almost feels like a draft, but only in certain areas. It's a cold spot. And I feel like that's normal for ghosts for some reason. I don't know why, but I know that our human body runs on electrical impulses and things like that. So I don't figure our natural electricity to be hot. I actually figure it to be cool. Our bodies are hot because we're moving around and stuff. But I honestly believe that our our nervous system is made up of cool temperature electricity. So when people say it feels cold here, maybe that's in fact when there's a ghost around as well. Maybe you just walk through a ghost. I would love to do that. I'm saying that now, but this is someone that's never actually had any sort of paranormal activity happen to him. So maybe I'm being ignorant in saying that, but obviously I'm none the wiser. But yeah, I want to experience something paranormal, you know, just to prove my theories. It's mostly just to prove it to myself. I need to know. I actually need to validate a couple things for myself. When you die, do you choose to stay, I guess, in this plane? Or is where a ghost is at? Is that a different plane? Another dimension that just layered on top of the one that we're in right now? What is it, you know? And also, if that's the case, then does that mean that there is life after death in a sense? And what happens after you're a ghost? Do you age? Do you get stuck at the same age that you looked like when you were at the time of your death? Do you get to choose what you look like? And what I mean by that is like in your timeline. This is a whole other. This is a whole other. What was it? It's a whole other string of events that I would need to talk about as well. Whole other set of theories. But yeah, would you be able to choose what you look like? Maybe how you were when you were 10 years old, 20 years old, depending on how old you were when you died. Do you get to stay the same age? Also, can you do anything? Can you interact with this plane, the human plane, the live human plane? Can you do anything? Or is that just movies that have gassed it up? that ghosts can actually, manipulate things like lifting a penny. I really wonder. And also, does the Ouija board work to request to speak to something from the other side? That's a dangerous thing to find out, because like I said, I do believe in ghosts 100%. So just like I believe in ghosts, I believe that there aren't just ghosts, that there are demons. I also believe that there are angels. Obviously, Hollywood will make us believe that the presence of demons is a lot greater than the presence of angels. But those two, in a sense, are not ghosts, because ghosts are maybe demons take on more of the invisible approach. I'm not going to say that they're ghosts necessarily, because a ghost, I guess, would be the absence of a human body, and whatever is left from there is that, a human ghost. I think demons and angels are more of a different type of beings. I wouldn't consider them living beings, but energy beings at that. We're already at 12 minutes. Like I said, this is going to be a long one, because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to ghosts. Okay, there's people that say that they don't believe in ghosts because there's no proof. I mean, I don't know about you scientists. Somewhere, some group of scientists tried to prove that there was a soul, and there was a certain weight, I forgot how much it was, that disappears from a human when they die, at the time of death. For some reason it was recorded. I don't know how the hell they recorded it. I don't know if they killed someone. Maybe people that are in the electric chair. People that were put to death. But there was a study, I can't remember where I read this from, but basically scientists and doctors claim that whatever weight disappeared after a person dies, that was the soul. So there are people out there trying to find proof of a soul. And if a soul is the manifestation that we're seeing, that we're calling a ghost, then yeah, maybe that's what it is. But like I said, I haven't dealt enough personally with any of this to actually know firsthand. That's funny. Oh, a civilian car got into an accident with a Geico insurance car. I wonder if they have Geico. It's not funny. They're fine though. I just saw them. They're cool. I was just talking about this on the first episode, I think, or the first bonus episode about road rage. People are rubbernecking and now there's traffic. My goodness. Anyways, back on track. Ghosts. There's a legend. Not a legend, I should say. There are stories of ghosts in certain areas of the world, right? And the people that live around those areas or in those areas always want to start these legends. These stories about if you pass by at this time of night, if you're alone driving by this road, a ghost, an entity, something is going to hop in the back of your car with or without your permission. I've heard a story of that, of a taxi. There's a certain road that you have to get to from one place to another, and it's on the edge of the ocean. It's kind of like the Pacific Coast Highway. It's right on the edge of the ocean, and you're overlooking it basically. Except where I saw this road, because I've been on it, There's no railing. It's not safe. But apparently, a bride was in a taxi on her way to go get married, all dressed up and ready to go. She was just gonna get to the church, meet up with her hubby, all right, and get married. Apparently, that didn't happen. There was a landslide that day, and the landslide pushed the taxi driver along with the bride over into the ocean. Sucks. It really does. And apparently, taxi drivers have this story that if you pass by there between 10 p.m. and like 1 a.m., any time of night by yourself, that you're gonna get a passenger, a lady in a white dress that is asking for a ride. You stop next to her to pick her up, and there's taxi drivers that have supposedly, okay, this isn't like factual, I don't know this for a fact, but there are taxi drivers that claim that when they see her face and they see that she's has no face, that that they book, they dip out of there. That's if they get a good look at her. If not, she'll just hop in the back of your car. But those taxi drivers that try to, get away because they freak out, will realize that they can't do anything about it. They will drive away, sure, but as soon as they look in their back mirror, in their back seat, there's the bride, and she will be with her head in her lap, and she will be crying. After a certain point of driving and shitting your pants, she'll disappear. She won't be in your car anymore. It's almost like her presence is only strong in like one area of like maybe 200 feet of road. This is just what I've heard. One story that I've been told personally. I don't know if it's true. I wanted to experience it. I purposely been there, I would say 2-3 times at night. It's exciting, but it's fucking scary too. But I personally haven't seen anything yet. Maybe because I haven't been in a taxi. I don't know. Maybe because the car was full one time. So maybe that's why. But that's one story. I have another story that happened to me personally. I wouldn't consider it paranormal only because it's just unexplained. Which is, once I tell you, you'll realize that maybe it could be explained. But anyways, so myself and the person I was living with at the time were sharing a room. They had their bed, I had mine. My bed was closer to this is a house, one-story house. So ours was closer to like, not an alley, but just a little side part of the house that's just a narrow corridor that was empty, where we put the trash cans at, that we took out in the morning. And there's rocks there, a lot of rocks. So you can hear when someone's walking. So it's all started like within a span of like 2-3 years. And one night I'm there, it's like 11 p.m. I'm a high schooler at the time. And we hear what sounds like walking right outside my window. Sure enough, I mean, I'm the adventurous one when it comes to the scary shit. So I turn on my flashlight, I look outside, and I don't see anyone. But I'm still hearing it. And I'm not seeing any rocks getting displaced. So I don't know where the hell that sound's coming from, but it sounds like it's right outside my window. And it's back and forth. Back and forth. You just hear the rocks being displaced. So I'm over here. I'm frustrated because I'm trying to go to sleep and I gotta hear this shit. Right? At first it was exciting and scary, and now I'm just frustrated and upset because I want to go to sleep. It's fucking people, whatever this is, won't let me sleep. Eventually I fell asleep. Let's fast forward a couple more weeks, and we start hearing it again. And this time I go out there with my flashlight. I tell my roommate, I'm like, hey man, look, just keep an eye outside. Alright, tell me if you see anything. I go out there, and the front yard is grass, and that side part is where the rocks are at. So he knows it's not my footsteps that he's hearing. But I get to the side part of the house, and sure enough, there's no sound. There's nobody. There's not even an animal. So, what the fuck? I'm not hearing anything. I'm like, all right, whatever. Maybe the ghost got mad that I was trying to figure it out. So, fast forward again, maybe a couple months this time. Right? Nothing happened for a couple of weeks. Couple months. Now we're hearing footsteps on the roof. If you can recall, I said we live on a one-story house. So you can easily see anything that's on the roof. We have no attic. So you hear dum, 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 dum. It's almost like someone is scuttling around on the roof. Scuttle? Is that a word? Shuffling. I think scuttle's a word too, though. You just hear someone, like, not dragging their feet, but just taking very quick steps. But we thought it was a rat or a squirrel that maybe got stuck in between the panels. But you would hear the nails. They're nails of these little feet, right? Like, because I hear my dogs. Because he has nails, he has claws, whatever you want to call them. And whenever he walks across the place, you can hear it. It's a distinctive sound when it comes to animals. I've heard squirrels walk across asphalt. So their claws, nails, will be a lot louder on wood, I would assume. But that wasn't the case. These sounded like legit human footsteps. And I don't know if you guys have ever hit a piece of wood, but you can feel that if someone else is hitting it, you can feel the impact from a distance. You know, you can feel the pressure change real quick. You can feel the thump. And these were thumps that sounded like they were coming from a human. So we got on the roof. There was nothing on the roof. We're checking the roof. I stay in the room, and I can still hear the thumps. And I'm telling them, I'm still hearing them. What's up there? Where the people that were helping me check, like, there's nothing up here. It's like, all right. So what the hell? Oh shit. Que la chingada, yes. Oh, cool. All good. Sorry. When you're living in California, you're trying to get on the 405, it is a bitch. Anyways, so, damn, going on 23 minutes. So we never found out what any of this noise was. It happened a few more times, both the outside of the alley, the roof. Never seen any shadows, at least directly. At my old house, so we used to live at that same house. I don't think it was haunted, but I just think it was a good breeding ground for people to leave their bad energy. Only because we didn't go through a lot there, but there was negative vibes there coming from different people that would come and visit sometimes. And those negative vibes attract negative things, which in turn brings up the spookiness. But yeah, I don't recall directly seeing a shadow. It was always those out of the corner of my eye type of thing. So can't say, like I said, that I've seen a direct ghost directly. I've had people, friends, co-workers that have told me that their house is haunted, that we shouldn't talk about that shit. It's like, yeah, no. Damn it, I have a podcast on phobias and scary shit. What makes you think I don't want to talk about this? I crave that shit. That's why I'm the creepy journalist. Speaking of creepy, last night there was this light in the sky. Some people talking about the SpaceX program company. I don't know what the hell they are. Launching shit in the air, and basically two parts of the ship broke apart. One part lands back where it launched from. The other part just dissipates. I don't know. But there's a lot of spookiness going on. I'll put a picture of it on here in this video towards the end. So yeah, let me know, what do you guys think about ghosts? I know that I have to touch back on this subject again, maybe go a little more in depth on the history of ghosts, maybe some art, some literature, just go deeper, you know. Yeah, real deep. So yeah, I know we're gonna have to touch back on ghosts again, but phasmaphobia, I didn't talk too much about the phobia itself because, like I said, we don't understand a lot of things as humans because we haven't experienced a lot of things. But for those of you that are afraid of ghosts, you know what, man? Don't even worry about it. It's all good. Maybe the fear comes from becoming a ghost. Maybe you don't want to become a ghost. Maybe you don't like the idea of being disembodied, having your energy out and about, having your soul be prancing around on this plane. And every time I say this plane, I mean this plane that we're looking at right now, the one we're living in. Because I don't believe that ghosts are in the same plane. I feel like the one that looks the same. And they can choose maybe which one they want to be in or which one they want to interact with. But yeah, like I said, we're going to touch back on this subject again because there's too much to talk about. Maybe I'll read some stories, first-hand stories of people that have had experience with ghosts. I'll have to get in touch with people that I know have told me a ghost story themselves, about themselves. Nope. 405 traffic, guys. Like I said, road ragers. Alright, I guess, yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Stay creepy, my friends.